The capture of Bastogne was the ultimate goal of the Battle of the Bulge in December 1944, where the Allies were racing to liberate Bastogne before the Germans could take it over. In War Thunder, we simulate the famous battle and put the decisions in participants' hand to see in a virtual setting if their decisions could change the outcome, with only the military vehicles used historically and critical points each side needed to conquer to achieve victory. Will the Allies still be able to break through the German defenses to make it to Bastogne, or will the Germans take the town? Today, we find out.
Hey guys, it's the Muffin. So I want to thank our sponsor Ewin for sending me this chair. It's a gaming chair. It has this really nice pillow for neck support. It's very tall, so anytime you want to lean back, you can also rest your head. It fits the form of your back quite nicely. It's got, my favorite part about this chair is the support it has on the bottom where it's another pillow. And so when you lean this back and lock it into place, you can reap the full back benefits of this chair. And anytime I'm working or playing, I'll always have it in this position, and it allows me to sit up a little bit more straighter, be a little bit more relaxed, instead of being crouched forward on my computer the whole time, and then your back ends up hurting, your arms from being on the desk. This just feels really good. It also has these nice arm rests that you can actually adjust forward, backward, and you can also put them inward a little bit, which makes it a bit more comfortable for your arms too. It also has this lever on the side too that you can recline as far back as you want to. Check this out. You can almost like make this thing a bed. If you're interested in this chair, check out my link below. You can actually save 20% off on this chair. Go ahead, check it out, and let's get back to our video.
During the battle, Germany was outnumbered and tried to break through Bastogne, while the US was trying to break through and save it. In 3 rounds, our German participants' objective is to hold their capture point at B to keep Patton's forces out and take control of Bastogne. Once Patton's forces are able to take control of the German point, they can move on to Bastogne to support it. Participants can only use tanks used in the real battle based on research I could find. Tiger 2s and Jagdtigers are limited in round 1. But based on the outcome, we do some rebalancing in rounds 2 and 3 if needed, to see what changes or which side will win best out of 3. Let's see, based on the first setup we have, if Germany can complete their objective before the US does. The Allies moving towards Bastogne are the ones that decided they wanted to defend, while the ones that stayed at spawn decided they wanted to attack the critical points needed to capture. I gave each team about 4 to 5 minutes to get in position and ready before the battle began. The limit on Tiger 2s and Jagdtigers for the German side was 2 each. Let's see which country wins as we recreate this through simulator mode with participants in War Thunder. Round 1 starts with Germany making their aggressive push on all sides moving forward, while the Allies brace themselves for the oncoming attack. Most of the Allies' tanks consist of 15 M18s based on participants' choosing, but are now down to 14. Germany's defensive point is under artillery attack, while most allies in Bastogne defending start moving towards the front where the Germans are approaching from. During the historic battle, the 101st Airborne Division found themselves surrounded and outnumbered by German forces. The German commander messaged the acting American commander to surrender, in which General Anthony McAuliffe famously replied, "Nuts." Patton's forces are seen attacking the German defensive point as M18s try to take the high ground to shoot into it, but will it be enough? German forces that decided to flank Bastogne on the far side are now seen closing in from the north. some Allied tanks in Bastogne that could see German tanks at their defensive point blocking Patton's forces tried to help with what they could. 6 minutes in with 7 of the 20 German tanks down and 12 of the 40 Allied tanks. Which team will achieve their objective first? Allies seen doing an amazing job defending off the Germans trying to invade Bastogne, but will it be enough as some German tanks are seen leaving their defensive point to move towards and help take the town? I think at this point, with the M18's transmission shot out and still looking down the end of a Jagdtiger barrel, they would have probably jumped out. Amazingly, the Allied forces in Bastogne are able to defend off the Germans that had attacked, and now, with it clear, the team decides to move where the remaining are at their defensive point to help Patton's forces. Both teams had no idea how many each were going to be attacking or defending. 9 minutes in, with 6 German tanks left and 19 Allied tanks left. Germans are seen trying to hold off the Allies with a two-front battle. But with the few that are left, will it be enough to save their point? 2 German tanks down with 3 left, and 16 Allied tanks. This isn't looking good for the German side as they put up quite a fight in the town. Only 1 German tank left. Finishing round 1 with an Allied victory, I really think a lot more of the German team could have pushed Bastogne, but it was heard from the participants that the amount of M18s had really caused issues for them, which is funny because the M18 was quite effective in the real battle. With the score Allies 1 and Germany 0, we now move on to our second round, but this time there is no limit on Tiger 2s and Jagdtigers, but the ratio of 2 to 1 stays the same, with the Germans being outnumbered. Let's see if the Allies can still save Bastogne now. This time, more participants decided to be attackers on both sides, with 12 of the 40 on the Allied team and 11 of the 20 on the German side. Oops, and running into a Tiger 2 while guarding the area can't be good. Allied forces try to retreat back into Bastogne as the onslaught of German forces are seen approaching their defensive point, while Patton's forces as well begin to attack, but this time outnumbering the Germans' defensive point. Allies finding themselves stuck in areas in Bastogne on the front with limited areas for cover. The Tiger 2 is having no issues punching through what the Allies have to offer, as Patton's forces find themselves trying to find out how to break through the wall that stands between them and their friends in town, about to be attacked by a lot more, with less defending in Bastogne this time. German offensive is seen beginning as fewer Allies rush to the front this time to defend what they can. The 28 Allied tanks in Bastogne, will it be enough to hold off the 11 German tanks mostly consisting of Tiger 2s? Patton's forces seen not having much luck with their aggressive play, while the Germans seem to be doing much better this time around. 7 minutes in with 15 German tanks left and 28 on the Allies. Only 6 Allied tanks left in Bastogne. This is not looking good for the Allies this time, with Patton's forces also in a stalemate against the Germans defending their point. M18 had flanked behind the Germans' defensive point and now has eyes on some of the German forces trying to push into Bastogne. Will this be what the Allies need to turn things around? Very brave Jumbo decides to push after the M18 from Patton's forces had killed a German tank across the map, but there might be more against him than he can handle. According to War Thunder's wiki site, some sources indicate that several Panther F variants were completed by Daimler-Benz between April 20th and 23rd, 1945, and they may have been used in combat operations, but it is unlikely it would have been used in the Battle of Bastogne, given it took place in December 1944, but it was my fault for not specifying which Panthers participants could use. Germans are seen pushing into Bastogne after most of the Allied tanks have fallen. This looks like it might be a victory for the German team for round 2, but with the tanks left hiding in the town, can they turn things around? To ignore the air battle mode notification on some players' screens. War Thunder recently had an update to have that on in custom battles, but it wasn't used for this challenge. This time German tanks are seen entering Bastogne while Patton's tanks continue to keep fighting with what looks like little success. German team, after noticing they've taken Bastogne, start to push out towards Patton's forces. With the Germans winning round 2 and tying the score, we now move on to our final round where our participants decided to limit the amount of Tiger IIs to 5 of the 20, and Allies were limited to 8 of the 20 with M18s. Let's see who will win the final round that will determine the victory for this challenge. Simulator mode was a big challenge for participants, only having the views of the tank crews themselves compared to the normal game realistic mode, as it prevented them from being able to use their third-person view to see around corners or get views that would normally help them in battle. In this final match, I just take the views from the 2 players that did the best from each side. Take your votes now on who you think will win given the new conditions. German Panther sneaking into the town and coming up from behind the Allies. Minutes in, with 10 German tanks left and 12 Allied tanks left. Into Bastogne with just a few left on the Allied side inside. Only 3 German tanks left and 6 Allied, with 1 M18 rushing to take the German defensive point, but unfortunately doesn't make it. Holding on to Bastogne is all the Allies have left. match with 2 German tanks left and all Allied tanks destroyed. Hope you all enjoyed today's vid, and thank you to all those that helped. You all stay cool and keep tanking.